There's a mistake that the Star Wars Sequel Trilogy made that I don't think enough people talk about. In this video, I explain what that mistake was and how I think it hurt the sequel trilogy. But before I continue on with this video, only about 14.6% of my viewers are subscribed to this channel. If you enjoy this video and you love Star Wars, consider subscribing. It's free, easy, and you can always change your mind. Anyway, let's get on with the video. So what was this huge mistake that the sequel trilogy made? Well, it has to do with our three main characters in Rey, Finn, and Poe. I want to make it clear that the problem is not with each individual character. It's how Disney decided to market all three characters as the main trio of this trilogy. If you look at the previous Star Wars trilogies, each of them had a main trio. In the original trilogy, they had Han, Luke, and Leia. In the prequels, they had Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Padme. And the sequels, I guess, are supposed to have Rey, Finn, and Poe. So this would make sense, right? Wrong. Now, if you were to rewrite the entire sequel trilogy, of course you could have a story where a trio would work. But the problem here stems from The Force Awakens. I love The Force Awakens, and I think it did an excellent job of introducing our new main duo of Rey and Finn. The Force Awakens is fundamentally not a story that consists of a main trio of characters. Rey and Finn are front and center, but Poe is by no means a main character. He's in the beginning of the movie, but after that, he is out of the movie for about 50 minutes until he gets back to Takodana. If you want to establish the movie as having a main trio, this is an awful way to do it. The thing is, I don't blame the writers. If you look at the marketing of The Force Awakens, it was not designed to have a main trio of characters like the previous two trilogies. It is very obvious that Poe Dameron was not supposed to be a main character. Only 5 characters got a character poster for The Force Awakens, and Poe was not one of them. If you look at the first teaser poster for The Force Awakens, Poe is not on that poster. If you were to look at the main Force Awakens poster, Rey and Finn are front and center and large, but Poe is kind of in the center but really small, implying he's not that important to the story. If you look at the screen times for the characters in The Force Awakens, Poe isn't even top 5. He has less screen time than BB-8. Poe even made the huge mistake of not destroying the like button to this video. One more thing you may know is that in The Force Awakens, Poe was originally supposed to die when he and Finn crashed on Jakku, but Oscar Isaac spoke to J.J. Abrams and wanted to be in the film more, so they wrote his character back in, and that's why it's a little weird when he just comes back out of the blue. So the evidence is clear. Poe Dameron was not a main character in The Force Awakens, and he was never supposed to be, but after the movie came out, so many people were talking about the new trio of characters because they loved Poe. So what happened? Well, Rian Johnson decided to make Poe an important part of the story. If you watch some interviews with Rian Johnson, he talked about how after the release of The Force Awakens, he decided to do some rewrites to give the new characters a more prominent role in The Last Jedi. And as someone who loves Rey and even Poe's arc in this movie, I don't think this was a good idea. I may have enjoyed Poe's arc, but I feel it detracted from Finn's arc, and Finn should be significantly more important to the story of The Last Jedi than Poe. I feel like in The Last Jedi, Rey is an A character and Finn and Poe are B characters, while in The Force Awakens, Rey and Finn are A characters and Poe is the B character. Had Rian Johnson decided not to give Poe his own arc in The Last Jedi, then maybe Finn's arc could have fared off much better. Again, I am someone who loves The Last Jedi, but even though I don't think Finn's arc in that movie was all that good, I don't think it's the worst thing ever in Star Wars. I think there are plenty of worse scenes in Star Wars. So yeah, I don't think Finn's story in The Last Jedi was all that bad. But then we got The Rise of Skywalker. People love to say that Finn was sidelined in The Last Jedi, but that is completely incorrect. Rian Johnson wrote a story where Finn was the central focus of one half of the story and where he got his own arc. It just didn't work for a lot of people. In The Rise of Skywalker, Finn was definitely sidelined. In my opinion, there are no memorable moments for Finn in this movie. In The Force Awakens and even The Last Jedi, there are many great moments for him, but in The Rise of Skywalker, I feel there aren't any. The worst thing of all is that in The Rise of Skywalker, Finn has less screen time than Poe. This makes me so disappointed. Moving on from how Finn's role was lessened in the later two films, I want to talk about why narratively, after The Force Awakens, it was a bad idea to try and force a trio. If you look at The Force Awakens, Finn and Rey have an amazing relationship together. I think most people would agree that Finn and Poe also had a great relationship together. But the problem lies in that Rey and Poe do not even meet in this movie. And given that they meet at the end of the second movie, it's weird to force an idea of having a trio when 2 movies have passed and Rey and Poe have no relationship. This is why I thought the idea of them getting together in the Duel of the Fates version of Episode 9 was crazy. If you look at the originals starting with A New Hope, Luke and Han had an established friendship. Han and Leia had an established friendship. Luke and Leia had an established friendship. And you also see them spend time as a trio together. In The Empire Strikes Back, Luke and Han only share a few scenes together, but those scenes were important because we still saw them being friends. And in Return of the Jedi, the 3 of them spend a good amount of time together. In The Last Jedi, Finn and Rey don't exchange any dialogue together. They hug once and that's it. I think this was a mistake. One short 30 to 60 second scene at the end when they were all on the Falcon where they just chat, I think would have gone a long way to making their relationship better. I think in The Rise of Skywalker, if Rey and Finn were clearly the 2 most important characters in the movie, then their relationship would have been much better. Is it just me, or does Rey seem like she doesn't even care that much for Finn in this movie? If Poe wasn't there, then maybe this wouldn't have been the case. So I guess my final point would be that since they wanted Poe to be part of this main trio, they included him in the final mission in The Rise of Skywalker, which potentially took away from the relationship of Rey and Finn. Anyway, that is what I think was one of the biggest mistakes of the Star Wars sequel trilogy. Thank you so much for watching another one of my videos. If you want to see videos where I talk about how amazing the sequel trilogy is, well, I have 2 videos right here. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, don't forget to net the Claude Squad, and I will see you guys next time.